Actor Mark Holton joins us today for an epic conversation. From Teen Wolf to Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Leprechaun, all awesome, all classic. Super excited, guys. Let's do it.
You'll be sorry, Pee-wee Herman.
Mr. Mark, thank you so much for being here, sir. I really appreciate it. Teen Wolf was my introduction to you, to Michael J. Fox. It was the first VHS tape that I remember as a kid, putting into the VCR all by myself. It's a very, a special movie, special time for me. And what was it like? It just looked like you guys were just having fun, hanging out, playing basketball all day.
Yeah, we were just running up and down the court, back and forth, like 18 hours a day. Initially, on paper, Chubby was almost non-existent. He was just the fat guy, and that was pretty much it. And Michael would go up to the director and say, "You know what? We got to have Chubby say that line. We got to get Chubby involved." And it just kind of grew from there. My character just kind of evolved, one basket at a time, so to speak. Yeah, man, it was great. Michael was the big star, and the thing that made him the big star was he had a little bit bigger dressing room than we did, and they always had a 6-pack of moose head in there. And once we found out about the moose head, we were dropping in more often. So there was a lot of sprayers around that, to make sure that we hadn't dried out in between. If we got sweaty, they had to go, okay, continuity. Oh yeah, Chubby, he's got sweat everywhere. Just hose him, And, after a while, it got, there was an aroma. And Michael got the great idea. He says, we're drinking this Calistoga water. You have a lemon, you have a lime, you got all this stuff. Why don't you dump that in the tanks and kind of, it might help mask everything. Everybody laughed or whatever, and they said, okay, and they started dumping it in there. But what we didn't know, although there was no sugar in it, whatever the flavoring was, is sticky. So you have bare skin running against, rubbing against bare skin. And it's just like having sandpaper involved, if you know what I mean. It was just one day. I don't think anybody had to go to the ER. We had our cast party. Think about 1985. Things were very different. So the after party was at a gay bar. And we showed up or whatever. And I got out of the car and Michael showed up and he goes, this is a gay bar, don't you? I said, no, I didn't know that. He goes, I think maybe we ought to get inside before, somebody starts taking pictures of you and me standing outside of a gay bar and starts a bunch of rumors. And I said, maybe that'd be a good idea. But but it was a crazy celebration. Lots of booze, lots of beer, lots of fun, lots of laughs. And all a good time was had by all.
So very cool. I love this movie so much. The ending, the championship game, that's my favorite scene, with the music and the slow motion. The way it was shot was just so inspiring. And, you see all my stuff here in the back. I'm a big Superman fan, but technically Teen Wolf was my first superhero movie. That's how I saw it. That's what I felt. And when you fast forward to 2002, when the first Spider-Man came out, Tobey Maguire, there's the infamous line, with great power comes responsibility. I love Spider-Man. I'm in the theater watching it for the first time. But my first reaction was, wait a minute, that's a Teen Wolf line. Because, Mr. Howard, Scott's dad, says it first.
You're going to have great power. And with great power goes a greater responsibility.
And again, that's just how much Teen Wolf meant to me, And there is a photo mark with Michael J. Fox and Jason Bateman together. Was there any talk of them being together in Teen Wolf 2 or maybe even Teen Wolf 3?
I definitely don't don't think Michael would have done it because Michael has always kind of distanced himself. During the shooting of Teen Wolf, he started shooting at night after he worked a full day. Spielberg would send this mile-long limo to pick him up and take him over to start working on Back to the Future. And I think Back to the Future was such a big film or whatever. He had outgrown, a $1 or $2 million movie that you could still do back then, and have a good product.
Right, and with Michael on both projects, he also had family ties. I mean, from what you saw, was he good? Was he able to keep up and balance everything okay?
Oh yeah, he was a pro. He I don't remember him ever complaining. I really don't. Michael, from that moment, Michael, his ascension was just meteoric. He's still fighting. He's still a star. Always will be.
Absolutely. And I totally understand. I mean, I've read that Michael and Jason both, kind of share similar thoughts when it comes to Teen Wolf. But, again, I just, I've seen Back to the Future, 1, 2, and 3 1,000 times. But I still, I've seen Teen Wolf more, and I still watch it more. I mean, it was just the right movie at the right time for me. I know it's different for everybody.
You're onto something with the way people look at things they've done early in their career, and then all of a sudden it's like they wish would just go away or fade into the woodwork or whatever. But everybody starts somewhere. Jennifer Aniston's first film was Leprechaun. She was wonderful in it. If it hadn't been for that, I mean, what a showcase.
Oh my God, she's so gorgeous in that movie. I mean, she's so natural and so pretty. That's I definitely remember.
She's even in my Walmart, a big cutout. I walked into Walmart and went, there's a life-size. It was a bigger than life-size Jennifer Aniston right in the middle of the Walmart.
Yeah, the Aveeno cream. Yeah, she's in my Walmart too.
Every male that had anything to say to me about that film, the first thing they mentioned was Jennifer. I don't know. I don't know if it just had to be her. It was perfect, and it is graven in stone for all time.
And then they brought you back for Leprechaun Returns, right?
Leprechaun Returns just came out of nowhere, but I was really the only person from the original, and they kind of needed me for that purpose, I guess, to tie it all together. But they ended up shooting it in South Africa, and the plane had a problem. So I went in the club or whatever, it was right across from the gate. And I kept hearing this guy talk, and I thought, I know that voice. Who is that? And I came around and I looked at him, and it was Paul Rubens, who I hadn't seen in years.
Wow, that's amazing.
I just stopped and I looked at him because I got the vibe, I said, Paul, it's Mark. And he looks up and he goes, what the hell are you doing here? I said, I don't know. What the hell are you doing here? Francis Buxton will always be what I'm remembered for, if nothing else.
Mark, do you remember your first day on Big Adventure? First day on set, first scene?
First day on set was the I know you are, but what am I seeing? As it should be. I think it got to the point to where maybe Paul and I were a little bit too strong a personality. Tim would come over and say, well, could you do it, a little more fey? And I didn't know what fey, what the hell does fey mean? And I didn't want to say, I don't know what fey means. What the hell do you mean? What is fey? What is fey? So I thought, well, maybe he means gay if he's saying fey. So I toned it kind of in that direction of just a little bit with, more of a snippety attitude. But other than that, that was pretty much the only time that Tim ever said anything to me. He was a really good director.
And was there a reason why we didn't see you in the second one?
Something happened between him and Paul. any of these things, like on the internet where they did have like Tim Burton, all this stuff about Tim Burton's life, all Tim Burton's films or whatever, you don't see anything, or I have yet to see anything about Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And I was told that they got into it during post, and Burton had him banned from the editing room. And the next thing, I don't know exactly what happened, but next thing we know, he's over at Paramount doing Big Top Pee-wee.
Whoa, Mark, as you're talking, my Pee-wee memories, my life is flashing before my eyes right now. I'm trying to think, and I don't remember seeing Paul or Tim together after the movie, for any interviews, promotion. I've seen them separately. So, wow, I had no idea. Man, that's crazy, but despite their differences, what they were able to create together, it's amazing, man. Pee-wee is it's a classic, dude. And wow, that's just, man, you've definitely experienced some awesome movies and some awesome times. It's been so awesome, Mark. I know there's so much more to talk about, and it would be so awesome to have you back sometime. I would love to do a deep dive into Gacy. Superboy, you were on the Superboy show. I will be doing a series of episodes on that show very soon. So again, it would be an honor to have you back.
Yes, the man that wrote the episode would go on to direct Leprechaun, Mark Jones.
Wow, that's so cool. Mr. Mark, thank you so much for being here. Super congrats on all your work, talent, your family, your success. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm definitely gonna rewatch Leprechaun tonight, then Leprechaun Returns, and maybe a little Big Adventure tomorrow. So thank you for watching. Thank you for believing, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.